Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded, the best sports podcast in the world. I am calling it on this planet and maybe in the universe.
It might be.
We are on episode 44 of season 3, Harden My Heart. Hopefully you know that song, and you'll get the title soon enough. We still got the little spooky. We still got the little spookies going right now. I am your host, Eric. My main man right over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
Ready, fired up,
I am excited. There's a lot to cover tonight. If you are joining us live, we love participation. Please join in to the conversation. Let us know if there's something you want to talk about. Maybe we haven't discussed yet, and we can definitely do that as well. But we will start off with our leadoff story, Ron, and that is one Mr. James Harden. He has been traded. I know that's surprising, because that doesn't happen very often. But he is now with the Los Angeles Clippers. Who won this deal?
Well, I think Philadelphia, because you got rid of the guy that really did a number on you in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, and then I looked at what they actually got, though.
Yeah, but,
And I'm a little concerned that right now, the 2026 first-round draft pick, a 2028 first-round draft pick, a 2029 pick swap.
Yeah.
Two second-round picks. But then they got Marcus Morrison, who hasn't played. Robert Covington, he's averaging 2.3 points and 2 rebounds a game. Nick Batum, 2.7 points and 2.3 rebounds. And KJ Martin, 3.3 points and 1 rebound in their games. And I'm looking at how did you replace James Harden? You really didn't.
They didn't. They basically just got rid of him. And that's not going to sit well with Embiid.
Kenny thinks they got better on defense.
Yeah, and maybe.
And he got gangster with he's like, defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a process for this team, I think. I don't see they're going to be able to contend anyway.
Oh, bring him up, by the way. James Harden in his Clippers uniform. We have to see him in different uniforms.
Yeah,
we don't get enough of that.
This is true.
I would say that, look, PJ Tucker, Philippe Petrusev, and Harden went to the Clippers. I like the PJ Tucker move, but now look at this Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden are all on the same team.
Yeah.
That is a combination.
That is a combination. It's a combination that I don't think is going to last very long.
Yeah, we talk about some attitudes that have, been in the NBA for quite some time now and caused problems wherever they were. There's a few of those guys.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of guys that they want to be the focal point of the team, right? And I just don't see that working at all there. I don't see it working.
Yeah, my one concern with Philadelphia would be, and Kenny, I know you say you think the Sixers got better, but I would be concerned that Joel Embiid is really going to start to look at, is this the right organization for me to stick around with? Because honestly, Tyrese Maxey, very good player, has stepped up. I think he's averaging almost 24 points a game. So you could see where he has that one extra guy to try to take some of the pressure off of him. But then realistically, if you start looking at some of these teams, look at Boston right now you got Brown, Tatum, Porzingis. You know what I mean? You added
Holiday.
Yeah, you added Drew Holiday, and the Embiid's looking around going, okay, well, I got 4 bench guys. I got Maxey, who's going to be my only option. Maybe I need to go somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't stay in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to find out, right? I mean, when they start losing, and I don't really consider them the third best team now.
Yeah, no, not at all. And that's the problem, because you start to sit back and you look at the NBA and how the players really react to these things. There's no loyalty in the NBA. You could sign a guy today for a max super deal, and next year he wants out. Like, it doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter. It's all about situations. And I thought we saw Dame get traded to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Right. Like, he was one of those guys that said, I never want to leave Portland. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm going. You know, so I don't know how the Sixers got better unless these draft picks, but you're talking about 2 years from now. It's not even like you're going to get better today. 2 years from now, Joel Embiid will be on the down end of his career. You needed to get him a player today. And they didn't do that.
Yeah, this to me is going to lead into Philadelphia to start over again.
Yeah. And you caved. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you sent him to the team he wanted to go to.
Yeah. And there was really nothing there that they could get. You know, there really wasn't anything there. So when you look at the grand scheme of things, this is going to be a do-over, because they're not going to contend with just, Embiid and Maxey. It's not going to happen.
No.
So what do they do from here? Now you don't even have any pieces to trade except for those picks. So you're going to have to trade with a team that wants picks, that wants to rebuild or is in the process of it. And so that's going to be a young body that isn't tested, so you're looking at possibly trading with a team like an Orlando, and trying to get one of those guys that are a young talent that may not be a focal point. And you're going to try to bring him in and make him the second on the team, or maybe the third. But I don't think Maxey is a good enough two to contend.
Not in the East with
so I can't see their options right now. Philadelphia's options are closed. You really have to now wait until the season is over and try to sign somebody.
Yeah. And this is why
really
I say I think
the option.
As crazy as it sounds, I think the Clippers won in this deal, because ultimately they got a guy that if motivated is a 25 and 10 on the assists. So you're getting a guy that's going to get people involved. You still got Westbrook. You still get Paul George. You still got Kawhi Leonard. Again, health is the only concern when it comes to that. And then I'm looking at Philly, dare I say, process 2.0, Ron. Like, they're going to do this again. Like, they're going to start over again. They finally had something. And to me, if you were going to trade Harden, which was the best case scenario because he had to go.
Yeah.
I would have at least tried to get a player that I could say, look, I'm going to grow with this guy in the next couple of years and at least get something out of it. The guys they got really will not contribute.
They're scrap heap guys.
So I disagree with you, Kenny, on this one. I really think the Clippers made out just based on the fact, and I like the PJ Tucker move for them because that gives them that toughness, that guy that wants to play defense. But it's going to be an interesting season to say the least. Watching in LA, that's like a documentary waiting to happen. I can't wait to see what happens there, because those are some real, you talk about some attitudes, personalities that are just, I can't wait. That's gonna be an interesting one. I mean, because when you look at the talent, there's a lot of talent there. They're probably the most talented on paper, most talented team. Realistically, you list those guys, you go, wow, they're 4 All-Stars.
Yeah,
all probably going to the Hall of Fame, all of them. Like they're, but I mean, we've seen this before. LA back in the day. I remember when Shaq, Kobe, they get Karl Malone and you're like, holy cow. And Gary Payton, you're like, this is going to be a great team. They couldn't win. And this team now with the Clippers, you look at it and you sit back and say, these guys haven't stayed healthy. Kawhi Leonard right now is healthy. I don't expect that to last.
So
Paul George has gotten hurt.
So who controls the ball?
That's what I'm saying. Is it Westbrook? Is it Harden? Like, this is just going to be a mess. This should be fun. I wish they had like Hard Knocks, but like a basketball version. And they were saying, we're going to go see the Clippers. Like, we're going to just be in that. Because that to me is salute to the Clippers.
Salute
Bring
to
them.
the Clippers.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you need a drink to think about. If I'm the front office of the Clippers right now, every day I'm walking on eggshells. I don't want to piss any of these guys off, because as soon as one does, I'm sending them off. And they're going to want to go somewhere.
That's just it, and you know what, though? When you think about it, the front office is really the cause of this James Harden thing, because he was obviously promised something and they didn't come through.
Yeah.
And there you have it.
The Sixers blew it. And I'm not saying, listen, we all know James Harden in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But he'll get you to the playoffs. After that, I mean, he usually just falls apart. But I don't see how the Sixers got better. But we will continue to watch this season.
They just took themselves out of the running, to be honest with you. I think Cleveland jumped ahead of them now.
And you got to look at Embiid's health. He's not been healthy consistently either. So It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Speaking of fun.
Speaking of, let's talk some NFL. Let's talk about your guy.
My guy.
Look at how happy he looks, right? What do you think? Right there, he was thinking, man, I'm going to get fired. I know it.
No, right there, he's thinking, yeah, Ron, I think you're right.
Yeah, that's Sports Unfolded, guys. They said that it was going to happen, and it did. Josh McDaniels been fired by the Raiders. What's the next move for Josh McDaniels?
Oh, boy. He's not NFL coach material.
He is now a New England Patriot offensive consultant. I can see that coming.
Oh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. The question is there anybody else even seeking his services? That's the question.
I would ask you this, Ron. Does he get another head coaching job?
Maybe in college.
Right. So, listen, 47 years old. He's come back home. Yeah, Kenny, right? Yeah, straighten out Mac right now. He spent 2 years with Denver, went 11-17, played, so 28 games. 2 years with the Raiders, 9-16, 25 games. Obviously, he's a great offensive mind, but somehow he continuously loses the locker room. And do you think it's a coaching style? Do you think he tries to be Bill too much? What has been his shortcomings that he cannot continue to hold a job?
Look, it's just the way he organizes a team, in my opinion. Like, I think it's from top to bottom. And I just don't think he knows what the job really entails. I think this is a guy that he can't get out of his own way when it comes to, running the team. And I just don't think he really knows how to do it. I just don't think he knows how.
Yeah, I don't. It's just baffling to me. And I read something.
There's always people out there, Eric, that can be the guy in charge, and then there can always be the number two guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Michael
and Scotty.
He might not be able to be the guy. And I mean, it's just how it is, I mean, not everybody is cut out to be to basically be in charge, and it's not simple. There are skills that you need to be able to do that. And he might not be able to do that. He might be too young yet.
Yeah, maybe. Ron, this is going to blow your mind. $80 million right now the Raiders are paying John Gruden and Josh McDaniels to not coach their team. They are literally paying these guys to not coach their team. How amazing is that?
That's an insane number.
I know the NFL was trying to have Tom Brady not be able to buy the team, and because of the discount he was getting.
Yeah.
If I'm Tom right now, I don't want to buy this team because I don't want to pay for guys that don't even they're not even coaching. They're not $80 million just to sit at home. That's amazing.
Yeah, their contracts are good, right?
Yeah. And you look at it, that Raiders organization has just been a mess for years.
Like maybe Josh doesn't even want to do it anymore.
I wouldn't blame him
why
to want to
bother?
get out of that.
How much money is he making by
all
himself?
the talent you have over there, and they couldn't win. I don't know. Another big move in the NFL, Chase Young.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Traded to the San Francisco 49ers. Do you consider this a big deal?
Oh my God, yes. I mean, what their defense is now with him?
Yeah.
I mean, look at it when it was before him. Now
So-
you're adding him?
So they were 9th defensively, 5th in points allowed, 19th in sacks. They only had 18 sacks as a team. Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, and Drake Jackson all had 3 to lead the team. Chase Young comes over. He's already had 5 in 7 games. So, yeah, you just added a piece. Now Nick Bosa's honestly
Oh my God.
going to take off as well. You know what, though, Ron? I had a Ron's rant the other day. I talked to one of my buddies at work, and we're going through this whole process, and I said, how did the New England Patriots, who lost Matt Judon, Josh Uche is kind of busted up, not get in this thing for a 3rd-round draft pick, which would have been higher than the 49ers based on our record.
Right.
We have the worst record in the AFC. Don't get me started on that one. But Chase Young is a dynamic young player defensively, which Belichick loves
cost
to
him a
begin with.
3rd-round pick.
And it costs a 3rd-round pick, and New England doesn't pick that up to see if you can make something out of this kid. I don't get what's going on in New England. How does the strong get stronger? How do the 49ers, I know they lost 3 straight, and everybody's like, oh, Brock Purdy back to – calm down. I mean, even the great teams, they are loaded.
Yeah.
You add Chase Young. Come on. It's not even fit. Like, it's not even right.
Yeah.
And you got garbage over here in New England. You can't even bring in a player. Just bring in a player.
It's also dumbfounding how other teams didn't, land this. Like if you're
the Dallas Cowboys, you put him like a Parsons, forget it.
Like when you had Chase Young, why aren't you saying, okay, you'll give up a 3rd-round pick? Okay, let me make some phone calls. There's several teams that you could call and say, hey, can you give me a 2nd-round pick for this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Miami, what are you thinking? Let's just keep getting offensive guys, because at some point, listen, get a guy like that. I don't get it. I don't understand how a guy like that, 3rd round draft pick, absolutely ridiculous.
It's almost
5
like
stacks.
it's almost like it's rigged.
Oh, let's go.
How does the guy not get?
I don't know. You're asking. I'm agreeing with you that there's something doesn't sound right here.
Right.
Unless this kid's got such a bad rap from somebody. Magic went out and said, listen, this kid's trouble. You don't want him. I don't know, because Magic owns
saying that?
Magic, Mr. Johnson. He owns the Reds, Commanders. Maybe he said it. Maybe he was like, and nobody wanted to pick him up. So that's the best they could do. I don't know. Ron, there are some amazing games this week. What are your games of interest this week? There's a good amount of games. I got 6.
What do I have?
Oh, look, the TV in the background.
4. I got 5.
About to see the ring. She comes out of that TV. I'm just letting you know. What's going on over there?
I don't know. It's moving on its own.
That is phenomenal. All right. So the obvious ones are probably going to be the same, but I'll let you start us off, Ron. What do you got?
Okay.
What's your first one?
Let me see. Which one would be the least favorite of them. I would say LA Chargers at the New York Jets.
I have that game as well, though.
Because
this game's
LA
big.
Chargers are the biggest disappointment in football.
And I was thinking this, Ron, if the Jets can pull this off, they're putting themselves in a playoff position.
I know.
And they get and it looks like Aaron Rodgers probably back before the end of the season. So they possibly, these games now against some of these AFC teams will matter for them in a playoff spot to finally get out of that rut of to 12 straight seasons.
Okay, just out of curiosity, if you're the Jets and Wilson gets you to the postseason,
I would still go with Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just saying, a hurt Aaron Rodgers.
Listen, yeah, but then you're going, what got you there? Was it the defense? Was it Breece Hall? You know what I mean? Before, if you see Zach Wilson maturing and getting better, then maybe. But again, that game they just won against the Giants, I mean, he made a couple of nice plays, but other than that game was ugly.
Well, we shouldn't get too excited because it was the Giants.
Good call. Who will probably lose to, by the way. So don't even. All right, I thought this was going to be an ugly one because this will be an interesting one too. Seahawks at Ravens.
Yeah, I had that one as well.
Just as I think the Ravens are going to start to, they always do something and be like, oh, they choke. And the Seahawks, it's still that team where I don't know what they are. I think they're good, but then I also think they could be one of these teams that is just a mirage and it's gonna and not going to do well.
They're an above average team that, you know, it's on the high end of that averageness. There's a new word for you. Averageness. You know, it's on the high end of that. Like, I don't see them really contending, but they're good enough to be a solid team. It doesn't scare you. Like, I don't know what it is.
Right? It's just, I don't know. So my other game, Ron, and I know this one you don't have, but this is the revenge game. Colts at Panthers. Frank Reich gets an opportunity to face the Colts. They just won their first game with the Panthers. You don't think he wants a little more motivation to say, let me stick it to the Colts? The Colts are starting a free fall. And they look like they possibly could have been a playoff team as well. So they need this game. And if Frank Reich can possibly knock them out and feel good about that, I don't know. I thought it's an interesting concept.
You know what? I hope he does do that because I want the Carolina Panthers to win some more games.
I had them winning the division. NFL preview show. Check it out. Sports Unfolded. One of the best.
You're a little off.
Little bit.
They won their first game.
Hey,
but in a couple more,
they can get.
That'll put the Patriots below them.
Worse than the AFC, buddy.
That first pick.
Worse than the AFC. Down. Worse than the AFC right now. So
yeah, but I want to get that first pick so we can trade down.
They don't need a quarterback though, so we'd be all right there. All right, let's go to the obvious games. Early game, right? Where's that one in Germany? Dolphins at Chiefs.
That's in Germany?
I think it's in Germany. 9:30, buddy.
You know what? Let's get out of the foreign countries.
Bro,
I'm sorry.
Next week,
look,
Pats.
I'm sorry.
Next week.
It's just ridiculous.
Be ready. Next week, Patriots, 9:30. They're in Germany as well. The Dolphins have to prove to me that they can.
You have to wake up early for them to get blown out?
Yeah. Yeah. So now at least I can eat breakfast while watching the game. Great. Chiefs, bad loss. I think they're going to be motivated now to really come in and play well. And I'm concerned. Listen, I have people I work with, they're Dolphins fans, and I said, listen, I will gladly talk to you when you beat a 500 team. They've played 2 500 teams so far. They lost both of them. Okay? Beat a real team and look good beating that real team, and then maybe I'll say you're for real. I have a problem with the Dolphins because I think they're one of these teams that, yeah, you're going to run up points, but as soon as you face a defense or a team that can match points, you lose every time. So we'll see. But to me, the Chiefs have a lot riding on this game as well because obviously you're trying to get that 1 seed.
Right.
And Miami's going to be one of those teams in that mix. What else you got?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I mean, the biggest part of that game is going to be how many times Taylor Swift is on.
Yes. Do you think maybe
gonna
she don't
be
go to
the host,
Germany? Why
right?
not going to go to Germany?
She's going to Germany.
You think she is?
No, she is.
She is.
Because
Tyreek Hill already telling.
It gets her airtime. It gets people to talk about her, and the Germans are going to be looking for it.
And you also got Tyreek Hill. He already said going against his old team, he's kind of pumped up. He's going to hill it up. He said or something, whatever. All right, I know you got the other two. What's the next one you got?
I like that Buffalo at Cincinnati.
Right. Yes. How many times can you get kicked in the gonads before you finally come back and punch back? Because the Bills have looked horrible against the Bengals for the last 3 meetings.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have one team that has been struggling to get wins, and Cincinnati has been rolling lately.
Yes, they are back. They are back.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see.
And it's going to be in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So
Damar Hamlin, though, he said a little emotional. He's going back. So that part of it, you get that part of the story as well. I'm sure they'll bring that up during the game. Hopefully, I don't think it'll be a lot, but
So what would you say would be more, Taylor Swift on screen or Hamlin brought up?
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift runs the NFL now.
Yeah.
She is pretty much on everything. I give up. All right. Obviously, the other big matchup. And I was hoping James would be on tonight.
Yeah, where is James?
I don't know. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Quiet.
Cowboys at Eagles.
Yeah.
Who needs this moron?
Is that moron or more?
Moron. Moron. I like what you did there.
Moron.
Very good. Very good. Who needs it more?
You know, I want to say Dallas needs it more, but I think Philly may, because I mean, when you look at how they've played, I don't think they've played very well.
No, right? They haven't looked the same.
Yeah, they're kind of just like floating through the games, and things just happen, and they happen to pull off a win, and it's not. It hasn't been really solid. It's been they're the weakest team that I've seen with that kind of a record. I
think they put a stranglehold though too on that division if they win this game,
right?
Because they only have one loss. Dallas 3 losses, correct?
Dallas
5-3. So again, you would pretty much.
Dallas isn't playing well,
right? So it'll be interesting in Philly. You know how those fans are.
Yeah,
fun game. Great week. This is probably one of the best weeks we've had so far. There's a lot.
Oh yeah, like I mean, there's actual games that you want to watch, right?
Yeah, there's interest, and you start already thinking about, as crazy as it is, playoff positioning. Now you're starting. Some of these games are going to be so crucial. Philly, Cowboys, right? That division. I'm telling you, Bills and Bengals, the AFC, Miami, and you know what I mean, KC for that, right? So a lot going on.
Yeah, and not to mention that if Miami loses, that opens the door for everybody else too.
Pats are back in. No, okay, all right. Listen, 9:30.
When have we seen those numbers?
Brighten up. Bright and early, get up 9:30, watch the Dolphins at the Kansas City Chiefs in Germany. All right, Ron, this was a fun one. We are moving on to our starting 5. All right, our starting 5 this week. We are just on fire with these. And we decided let's have fun. Players, athletes with food reference in their name. They have to have some kind of food reference. I am first this week, so I will give you my honorable mentions, and then we go into foodies. I like it. It's like Swifties, but only foodies.
Right.
All right. I love it. there's some names that I'm going to probably mention afterwards just because I thought they were really cool. But they
Yes,
didn't
I
even
was
make the
going to do
list.
the same thing.
All right. So honorable mentions, Chili Davis. So obviously, who doesn't like a nice bowl of chili, especially in the Northeast here? It's getting a little colder. But Chili Davis, batted 274, 23 over 2,300 hits, 3-time All-Star, 3-time champ, did not make my list. This gentleman, my friend, Butterbean. Huh? How did Butterbean 77 and 10, 58 KOs in his career didn't make my list? Your boy here, Jim Rice, 298. Over 2,400 hits, an MVP, 8-time All-Star. My man again, Jack Ham, didn't make my top 5.
Yeah.
8-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro, 4-time champ. And Mike Trout did not make my list.
Didn't make your list.
Did not make my list. 301 batting average so far for his career, 3-time MVP, 11-time All-Star, 9-time Silver Slugger. Didn't make my list.
Wow.
Those are my honorable mentions.
Okay. My honorable mentions are Mike Trout. As I say, wow, but he's on my honorable mention. Jim Rice on my honorable mention.
Yes.
Ben Roethlisberger.
I was going to put, and then I was like, there was actually, and this is where I said I wanted to, I think he's from Sweden. Sjöjard Hamburger. He's a rowing. And I was like, so that's his actual name is Hamburger.
Yeah. So I saw that. And Paul Coffey.
Didn't make your list.
Didn't make my list.
He made mine.
I thought there was another one. Let me look. No, that's the ones. Did I cross off somebody here? I just want to make sure that I'm not. Yeah, Paul Coffey was my late scratch. He was number 6.
Okay. All right.
So,
I had a couple of good ones that they weren't very good players, but the names Coco Crisp.
Oh yeah,
I love Coco, right?
Yep.
Frosty Rucker.
Yes,
right.
Named after the Frosty.
Right. That is awesome.
I have
a really good one. Dwayne Bacon. I love bacon, so I was like, that was a really good one.
Bubba Franks.
Bubba Franks. Yes. Also, Tim Salmon.
Yep.
Tim Salmon was another good one. So a lot of good names. I thought this was going to be
There's Dijon Thompson too.
Thompson. And then obviously the 2 Mayo. You got OJ Mayo, Gerard Mayo.
Yep.
Right. So a couple of Mayos in there as well.
Yep. There's Samari Roll.
Yes. All right. You ready though? Let's get our starting 5. At 5, I had, and I might have flip-flopped this, but I don't know. My 5 and 4, I'm still debating even now. But at 5, I went Catfish Hunter. 224, 166 in his career, 3.26 ERA, over 2,000 strikeouts. He won a Cy Young, 8-time All-Star, ERA champ, and a 5-time champion. 5, Ron.
Yeah. Catfish
Hunter. Foodie.
Yeah, I didn't put Catfish in there.
What? 5-time champ? You're a captain champions.
Yeah, but I have a guy that kind of is a little better.
Okay.
Meadowlark Lemon, the Harlem Globetrotter.
Oh, look at you.
He is my number 5.
Okay.
I mean, we all know the Globetrotters, right? I mean, look, they've lost what, 1 game in history?
Yeah.
Okay, then. I mean, that says
it all.
Says it all.
All right. Yeah. I like it. All right. At 4, I had Julius Peppers.
Good.
Julius Peppers, 159 and a half sacks, Ron.
He was so good.
557 solo tackles. Ron, 52 forced fumbles. 52. 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. And I probably would have had him higher if the guy could have won some championships. He never won a championship.
I just downed that, and I just realized that it was wine.
Oh, good. Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah. Oh,
no, but Julius Peppers is great. He was fantastic.
What a great player he was. Those numbers.
He was. All right. This is going to blow your mind. Blow your mind. Number 4, I have Joey Chestnut.
Joey Chestnut. That's a good one.
16-time
Yes.
Nathan's champion.
Very good. Very, very good one.
8 straight titles, of course. I mean, when you can put down 76 hot dogs, I mean,
And
that
I
goes
can eat.
without
I can
saying.
eat 76.
Yeah. You know,
Joey Chestnut. That's very,
Joey
very good
Chestnut.
one. Very good one. Ron at 3. I had, you always need a good cup of coffee. So Paul Coffey,
Yeah.
396 goals, 1,135 assists, a plus 298 for his career, 8-time All-Star, 3-time Norris. And what do you put your coffee in? A cup. 4 times he had a cup. I'm sure he put some coffee in that bad boy. Maybe the wine. But Paul Coffey, I had at 3.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. But I have somebody a little better than that at number 3. I mean, it goes without saying it had to be Mia Hamm.
Okay.
Mia Hamm put women's soccer
Agreed.
or football on the map. I mean, when you look at her accomplishments, I mean, between the gold medals and, you know, I mean, just the whole 276 goals,
In
I
a career.
believe. No, sorry, 158 goals.
International goals, yes.
International goals.
Yep.
I mean, this, like, the accolades.
I had her at 2. I had her at 2. Because
She's
when that
actually-
whole Michael Jordan thing and Be Like Mike,
Yeah.
Mia Hamm was the female version of that at the time. She was just the most dominant soccer player.
Yeah,
football
and
player.
she was
Yeah.
probably the most recognizable female in all of sports at that time.
So I had her at 2. I
Yeah.
had her at 2, Mia Hamm. Another
Yeah.
good one. Very good one. So who's your second?
My number 2 is Steph Curry.
Well, I got to see who this number 1 is because Steph's my 1. Steph's number 1 for me.
Steph Curry. I mean, you know the championships,
4.
especially Boston, you know?
Why do you got to bring? Why? Why do you do
Because
this to me?
I got
Gotta
to
get me fired up. It's not working tonight.
Look, I'm sorry. I got to keep the Celtics honest. I don't care that they have all these new guys that are lighting it up and blah, blah, blah. You know, the
Highest
proof
scoring
is
team in the
pudding.
NBA right now.
When it comes championship time, I want to see that.
Banner 18. Let's go.
So Steph Curry, my number 2.
Man, dominated.
I mean, Curry.
9 All-Stars, 9 All-NBAs, Ron. 2 scoring titles, 2-time steals, 2-time MVP, 4-time champion. I had him at 1. So who is your number 1? I can't wait.
Wait, but you got to say yours.
My number 1, Steph Curry.
Wait, so who is your number 3?
It was Paul Coffey.
Oh, okay.
Mia
Who's
Hamm was
2?
my second.
So who was 2?
Mia Hamm.
Oh,
She was your third,
holy
and Steph was your
mackerel,
second.
Really?
So who's your 1?
You don't have him on your list?
Who?
Jerry Rice.
You know what? I think I crossed him off by mistake.
Jerry, how do you not have Jerry Rice?
You know what I
in there?
did? I crossed off. I had Jim Rice and Jerry Rice together, and I saw Rice and I crossed it off. Yeah, Jerry Rice, my number 1.
Yeah.
Bump
Like-
everybody out. Everybody
Yeah,
went
no,
back
and
on
yes,
Jerry
it's
Rice.
all about Jerry Rice. I mean,
Oh,
come
my
on.
goodness.
He's the second best football player ever.
That is amazing to me. I know what I did now. I'm looking at my list and I'm going, oh, yeah, look, Jim and Jerry, I put them together and I just crossed off the Rice. Jerry Rice, by far.
Yeah.
By far. 1,549 receptions, 22,895
Yeah, it's
yards,
insane. It's insane.
197 touchdowns. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's great.
13 Pro Bowls, 10 All Pros, 3-time champion, Jerry Rice. Great call. Good job. Your list, phenomenal. Absolute great list. Joey Chestnut, by far my favorite.
You like
was a
that
good
one?
So this week, Ron, I thought about it and I said, we're going to have some more fun. Colors.
Color.
AC Green.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
some of those guys. So we're going colors.
Yeah.
Not the Ice-T movie or the Ice-T song.
Yeah, so we're going
Right?
to go colors. I'm kind of disappointed.
I
that-
can't believe I messed that up. Yes, Kenny, thank you for pointing out my mistakes. I'm human. All right, people?
No, and I can see that. I mean, we're looking at like thousands and thousands of names, and
Yeah, I
You
just
know,
started
I'm
writing the
sure
list.
there's some others that we might have missed too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there
You
was some.
know,
But great. We're having a lot of fun with the starting five. So next week, colors. All right, my friend. Kenny's still with us, so I'm
still
glad.
no body parts, huh?
No body parts because I don't trust you. Ron, let's bring up big tuna. The big tuna.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's a nickname. It's a nickname.
good
That's
call.
different.
Good call, though. Good call. We don't do nicknames. Actual names.
Yeah.
Um,
So what are we doing now?
Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama. Finally,
So
he's
NBA.
NBA, my friend.
All right.
He shined last night against the Phoenix Suns. Are you convinced now that he is the best thing in basketball?
Not well. I don't know about the best thing, but the upcoming thing. I mean, when you look at his numbers, the numbers look good already, but it's only 5 games. So let's
Yeah,
like
20
we don't
points.
want to do what they're doing to Connor Bedard, right? And
Yeah.
you know,
But
I
this
don't
kid's
hear anything about
producing.
Connor Bedard anymore.
This kid's producing.
Yeah.
20.6 points per game, 8 rebounds, 1.6 assists. He's shooting 50% from the field, 32% from three,
Yeah.
73.1 on the free throw line. He's got to get a little better
They're
at the
nice.
free throw line.
They're nice numbers, and
2.2
you know,
blocks, Ron, and 1.4 steals. I know it's early.
it is
But
early.
right now, if the season ended, the Spurs would be the 8th seed and in the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if he can get this team in the playoffs, that is saying something. But he's got a great coach, and we know what coaching can do. You know, in any sport, you get the right coach and the right players, they can do things. And look at the Texas Rangers are a perfect example of that, right?
Yeah, Bruce
And you
Bochy,
look at
right?
this kid, he is being taught by the best. You know, I mean, say what you want about coaches. Pop is just an amazing coach, and he has kept this team basically kept this team going for how
Yeah.
many decades now?
It'll be over, what, 2 now? I think it's been 20 years.
It's at least that.
Yeah. And I think that the issue would become longevity.
Right.
Can he keep putting, weight on, but positive weight where it doesn't slow him down? It doesn't,
Right.
because that would be a concern to me. But the kid seems like he's not scared of the moment. Sometimes you get all these guys come in with a hype, and you're like, okay, and then they just, the flashing lights start going, and they can't
Yeah.
perform. He
Yeah,
hasn't seemed to do
he's
that.
a big guy, so you know the big men have a hard time staying healthy longer because you're mixing it up with the biggest players in the league.
Yeah.
And you know he doesn't have that weight yet. Like he's not developed into an NBA body yet. And when that happens, if he keeps going the way he's going, he could dominate the league.
Yeah, I'd
I
like to
mean, you
see.
could see, like what I'm seeing from him is like a combination between Duncan and Nowitzki.
Yeah, that'd be probably a good assessment. Definitely the Dirk piece. Like Dirk was one of those guys.
Yeah.
You're like, he was shooting from outside. This kid's throwing up threes, step up threes. Like he looks really good.
Yeah.
Ron, I will ask you this question though. 38 points last night, Kenny. Yes. Do you think that at the league at some point there's going to be guys that are really going to try to go at him because of the name and what he's been? So you think about like a Giannis, who's probably the biggest star right now in the league, right?
Yeah.
Does he, want to show his
Is he the
muscle now and
biggest?
be?
He's close. He's got to be top 3.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like one of those guys
Yeah.
that's like, hey, this is my league right now.
Yeah. You know, I don't worry about guys like Giannis. I worry about guys like the Golden State Nuggets little
Yeah,
troublemaker.
Jokic.
No.
Oh.
I mean, no, Golden State.
Oh,
Green.
Draymond, your boy.
Yeah.
See, there's a color. Draymond
Yeah.
Green. But yeah, no,
you know,
listen.
I worry about players like him going at him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And That's because that's like it's almost like sour apples kind of thing. It's like you're kind of jealous of them. So if you're thinking about doing something to a player like that, that's kind of petty, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, but that's the kind
It
of
wouldn't
player
be the
that
first time you
Draymond
see
Green
something.
is. So I can see that actually happening because you're going to try to make a statement, at some point, and I don't think anything he does is really positive, to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
agreed. Good point. Kenny, I mean, we got something to watch. Check out our NBA rankings. We put them out every week. NHL rankings and NFL rankings as well on Sports Unfolded.
Yeah.
So check that out.
I forgot to send you the hockey.
I know you did.
Yeah. It's
So-
done.
It does us no good now, my friend.
No, it doesn't.
All right. So let's talk some Major League Baseball because we also had our
Oh.
Major League Baseball rankings. We have a champion,
Let me
Texas
tell you.
Rangers.
Oh,
What's your thoughts about the series? How they took care of business, winning it in 5 games? Your thoughts on the Texas Rangers?
look, like I told you, when you get a guy like Evaldi on your
5
on your
wins.
team,
5 wins in the postseason.
yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does. And I don't care that he was injured a lot in the last couple of years with Boston. Boston made a bad mistake getting rid of him. I mean, even if he was going to be injured, you take that and you because there's nothing you can't replace that in the postseason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what he brings to a team, it far exceeds anything he does, during the season.
But I will say this with the Rangers too. They spent a lot of money, right? You bring in a Corey Seager, right? You pay him a boatload of money. And if you look at it, he won the MVP in the National League. It's the first player ever to win it in the American League as well. Sometimes having playoff experience matters more than anything else.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's what they got. They got guys that could perform in crucial situations. They were a phenomenal hitting team all year. Adolis Garcia came on in the playoffs, 8 home runs, led all players, and 22 RBIs.
The numbers are incredible.
Yeah, so you look at it, they were getting contributions from so many guys, and then they had those guys that knew how to win and have won it before. And I thought they did a great job building this team this year.
I mean, you look at what
because even Evaldi, to your point, he was great in the postseason for Boston.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we all remember that game that he came in relief and pitched 4 innings of shutout baseball to keep them in the game in extra innings. And, even though they lost the game, but what he did was so incredible that, people took notice, and the Texas Rangers organization really noticed, and they jumped on it, and the Red Sox were caught sleeping. That front office of the Red Sox was just brutal. They decimated that team. And then Texas Rangers jumped on it. They got a guy that can go in there with that squad and really bring some leadership and experience to that team. And that team performed far better than anybody expected.
Agreed.
I don't care who you are. Nobody expected that. They came out of nowhere, and we all kept waiting for the collapse. It never happened, and that is because of that leadership at the mound with Evaldi and Seager.
Yeah.
With all the hitting.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah,
those are the 2 key players in that team that made a world of difference.
Yeah. I will say this, Arizona Diamondbacks, please continue to build. Right? Yeah. I hope they don't do this, and it's like, you know what I mean? A house sale now, we just get rid of everything.
Yeah, because they're probably one guy away from winning it.
What a great season they had. But, Ron, least watched World Series in MLB history, down 23% from last year.
I told you it was going to happen, remember? We talked about it.
I think Major League Baseball, Ohtani's going to one of these big market teams.
Yeah.
They want to see one. They need a New York, LA. They need those markets to survive at the end.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's like they don't want Ohtani to be not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They need him to be.
Yep.
And, he's going to end up somewhere. I don't think the Angels are going to keep him. I think the league is going to tell them to trade him.
Well, he's a free agent.
Things.
He's a free agent, and I don't think he's going to want to re-sign with the Angels. So we'll see. Ron, it is split decision time.
For the winner by split decision.
So split decision, we ask 2 more likely questions, and we basically present it. And you got to decide which way you'd want to go with your decision. So I am first this week. I will start us off with my first split decision. And it is, what's more likely, Ron? Josh McDaniels gets another head coaching job, or Bill Belichick goes to another team to coach?
All right. Before I answer that, my question to you, my first one was, is Josh McDaniels more likely to coach in college or return to the Patriots or head coaches another team?
See that? Look at that. Great minds think alike, my friend.
I don't think he gets another head coaching job. That looks more apparent than ever. I believe he will be a offensive coordinator in the league somewhere.
Okay.
That might have to wait till the end of the season, though.
That wasn't the question.
What was the question?
What's more likely, Josh McDaniels gets another head coaching job, or Bill Belichick goes and coaches another team?
Oh. Yeah. Bill Belichick.
Really? A lot of rumors about Washington. I know they're playing Washington this week, so every time you play a team, but there's a lot of rumblings that they may try to trade for Bill, or they want Bill. I don't think he goes to Washington, but that's not neither here nor there. All right. So yours was Josh McDaniels.
First round pick for him.
Yeah. Your first one was Josh McDaniels. Either
is it more likely that he head coaches in college?
Yep.
Returns to the Patriots as offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Or signs on with another team.
I don't think he comes back as they wouldn't mix it up right now with Bill O'Brien. So I could see him going somewhere else. And he did it last time too. After Denver, he went to St. Louis when they had a team, and he stayed there for, a year, and then he came back to New England. So I could see him going somewhere else as a either a coordinator or a consultant or something, and then probably back next year with the Patriots.
Okay.
All right. Number 2, Ron, my second split decision. More likely, James Harden and the Clippers get to the NBA Finals, or the Philadelphia 76ers?
I think there's zero chance of both.
Either one, right? But what's more likely, Ron?
I would say the Philadelphia 76ers, only because there's really only 3 other teams they need to worry about. And that's Boston, Milwaukee, and Cleveland.
Okay.
So I would say that is more likely. And you got to think that you got to make a trade, at trade deadline. So I would say Philadelphia Sixers. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, Kenny seems
too much competition out west.
Bill Belichick going to the Giants. All right. What's your second split decision?
That wouldn't be. No, he's not gonna. They're not gonna fire the ball. My second one. All right. Here we go. Is it more likely the Texas Rangers will win a World Series in the next 20 years, or
20 years? Okay.
Or miss the playoffs the next 5?
More likely they win a championship again in the next 20 years. If they can keep this group together for another couple of years, I think they have a team that can win. They were pretty consistent all year. They had a bad stretch towards the end of the year. But other than that, they played really good baseball all year. So it wasn't like, all of a sudden they just came on. That bad stretch kind of knocked them down in the standings a little bit, which ultimately didn't give them a higher seed. But To me, this is possibly a 100-win team if they just stay consistent all year.
Okay, so you think they can actually win soon?
They could win soon. I think they could, within the next 2 to 3 years, be back in it.
Okay.
All right.
Did not expect that one.
Yeah. I just don't see them missing the next 5 years. I don't. I think they got too much talent. All right, my friend. That was our split decision. If you guys out there ever have a split decision you want to give us, feel free. Join in, more likely. And we will gladly put that up and kind of debate it as well. All right, Ron, a little bit of a sad story here. We're going to discuss Adam Johnson, who has passed away from an injury during a game. It has sparked discussions around player safety. Should the NHL mandate neck guards for all players?
Well, it's an interesting topic because the Boston Bruins just lost, oh my God, Jacob Lauko to an injury from a skate just to above his eye. So, I mean, it is a scary thing, and I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. We've talked about this.
Yeah, because Evander Kane was, if I'm right, last season, he got his neck sliced.
Yeah. So you throw that on, and what happened to Jacob Lauko just like a week ago, and then you throw this on there, and when somebody dies, it's really noticeable, right? And it's a freak accident. And I think what'll happen is the minor league systems will see how it works out.
Yeah, I think they're testing it in certain ones.
Pittsburgh has already mandated it for their minor league team.
Yeah.
So we're gonna find out really soon if it's going to take place. I don't think it happens this year because it is something that has to be going through the collective bargaining agreement.
But
so
to me,
players have to agree to it.
Why would we have to debate this? As a league, you would think that, look, the player's safety, we always talk about concussions. We talk about, trying to make it, a better sport so that they have longer lives. And honestly, I got to see the video. And I don't know if you got to see the video, Ron, of how this happened. But while the other player they were colliding with another player, he kind of his foot went up in the air.
Right.
And the kid, Adam Johnson, was skating by, and it pretty much, you don't see that. But you think about, to your point, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. But then when you see it and it actually happened, why would it be a debate for the league to say, hey, you know what? Does it really hurt to have the players wear something that possibly could protect them from that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, when you think about a neck guard, what is it going to be made out of, for one?
Should be skate resistant, I would hope. If otherwise, it's pointless.
Well, right.
If it's made of foam that you cut right through.
If it's foam, it's almost like a neck brace, right? Yeah, is what you're really talking about. Is there going to be mobility for these players to see somebody else coming? So there is a lot. Like, I used to play hockey, so I can understand the player's point of view here. It's like, I don't want it. I wouldn't want it because I feel like my vision is going to be affected. Even though it's on the neck, it's still, you're going to be less mobile to move your head, and who knows what that could cause. I mean, if you have that in you and then somebody hits you, and is it going to affect something in any way? And that's the thing. They have to do the studies on it. I really think, jumping into it and adding it might be the wrong thing to do because you don't know what the repercussions of something else that it could cause. And I'm not saying it would be a bad thing because to me, I don't understand how it would be.
Saying. Yeah.
But certain, jarring hits might affect you more. And
if you can't move your head.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, again, sad story. Again, only 29 years old. He did have some time in the NHL. He was playing in an English
accident,
league. It is. To your point, it doesn't have, like, if we had it every 10 games, you'd be like, wait, it's an automatic.
Right.
I mean, we haven't seen a death from it, and now we have. So I think it's going to spark some conversation.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully, listen. At the end of the day, you want to see these kids be able to, walk out of the arena.
Yeah.
So it's going to be important for them to get this right.
It's like they have a lot of things that are going on with the NFL with hitting and stuff like that. And I get it. It's a violent sport. And until something happens, nothing is done. But now something has happened. So now we have to kind of do the research, I think. Before you jump to any conclusions, I think you really need to do the research on what is appropriate to put there. Because if you put plastic, I mean, that just seems stupid.
Yeah.
Because
whatever it is, I know they said it's tested, so the skates won't be able to go through it. But I also think it was like yay big. So what happens if it goes above that? Like, I don't know.
Right. So I mean, is it worth it? Is it not worth it?
Yeah.
Does it ruin the mobility? Does it affect the players?
The person we had to look at it, Ron. That's why you're my hockey guy. You see?
Yeah.
You see, buddy? All right, my friend. Obviously our thoughts and prayers go out to Adam Johnson's family as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's awful.
Yeah, terrible story. It is pick and roll time.
It's time for pick and roll.
Our pick and roll, another sad. We're on the down end of the show right now, and that's why you can see it even in your face, Ron. Bobby Knight has passed away, the legendary coach at 83.
Yeah.
We decided to take some of the great NCAA basketball coaching legends. All these coaches have won at least 900 games, at least 600 games in Division I. And Mike Krzyzewski, Jim Boeheim, Bob Huggins, Jim Calhoun, Roy Williams, and Bobby Knight have all won at least 900 games in their career. We're going to rank them from 6 to 1 in memory of Bobby Knight. Again, had his moments and issues, but listen, a phenomenal coach. He really was. I am first this week, so I will lead us off. And at 6, I went Bob Huggins, 935 wins, 414 losses, 693 win percentage.
Wait, isn't this 7?
No, I sent you a message and you didn't pay attention.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right.
I had already finished it.
Okay. 34 at 26 in the NCAA tournament. He was 3-time Conference USA Coach of the Year, 1-time Big 12 Conference Coach of the Year. No champions, never won a title. And again, the guy, he's one of those guys that we really don't like. At 5, I went Jim Boeheim, 1,015 and 441. So you think of a great career, 697 win percentage, 48 and 28 in the NCAAs, 1 Naismith Coach of the Year, 4-time Big East Coach of the Year, a 1-time champion, and then internationally 6 gold, 2 bronze as an assistant coach with Team USA. So had a great career there, Jim Boeheim. At 4, I went Jim Calhoun, 917 wins, 397 losses, 697 win percentage, 51 and 20 in the NCAA tournament, 4-time Big East Coach of the Year, 3-time NCAA champion. You think about it too, to get talent to Connecticut, pretty impressive, because some of these schools we talk about, were big names. He made Connecticut. He put Connecticut on the map. Jim Calhoun. At 3, and the reason why we're doing this list, Bobby Knight. I went Bobby Knight at 3, 902 wins, 371 losses, a 709 win percentage, 43 and 21 in the NCAA tournament, 3-time AP Coach of the Year, 5-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, 3-time champion, had 2 golds, and is the last coach to coach a team that went undefeated. So you think about that, that's still pretty impressive. 76, I believe it was. Roy Williams at 2, my friend, 903 and 264, a 774 win percentage. The man won a lot of games. 79 and 27 in his NCAA tournament. 2-time ACC Coach of the Year, 2-time AP Coach of the Year, 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, 4-time Big 8 Coach of the Year, and a 3-time NCAA champion.
Who's down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me.
Okay.
All right. At number 1, though, it had to be Mike Krzyzewski. 1,202 wins, 368 losses, 766 win percentage, 101 and 30 in the NCAA tournament. You think about it, that's insane to think about. 3-time Naismith Coach of the Year, 5-time ACC Coach of the Year, 5-time NCAA champion, 9 golds, 2 bronze in the international. The man's just a legend. But other than Huggins, I'm really not a big fan of. I think a lot of these guys were really good.
Yeah, they were okay, right? You know, they were all right.
They are.
Yeah, looking at the list, you know, I mean, you had it exactly the way I had it.
Ron, tell us the right lit. Kenny, me and you today are gonna fight. I can feel it. Give him the right list.
Sorry, Kenny, I have the same exact list.
Boom, baby. That's what you get, Kenny.
Number 6, I have Bob Huggins. Yeah, because we really don't like him. You know, what did he? He made it to 2 Final Fours. Woo! Woo! Number 5, Jim Boeheim. 1 championship, if I'm not mistaken. 5 Final Fours. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Not going to get you higher than 5. So I don't know.
Kenny, give us your list as Ron.
Yeah, I don't know who Kenny expects to be where, but you know, number 4, of course, is Jim Calhoun with 920 wins, if I'm not mistaken, right?
917. Yep.
Yeah, close. 3 championships, 4 Final Fours. You know, that's great. It's a 75% once you make the Final Four, right? I mean, that's pretty good. So going through that, you know, if I see that, I think you pick Connecticut if they're in the Final Four, basically, right? Number 3, of course, Bobby Knight. You know, I think he kind of got a raw deal. You know, I know he did some things.
I think
but
Jim Calhoun, you got at 1, Kenny?
Some people out there have done a lot worse than what he's done. I think, I don't know, maybe if he got help, I don't know. Maybe that's what they should have done first.
He had his anger issues, and I think the guy got the best of him. But again, a legendary coach, and you know, rest in peace, Bobby Knight.
Yes, you know, I mean, for the longest time, he was actually my favorite coach in college basketball for a long time. You know, I just liked
an edge.
Fire and edge. I liked it.
I could see that from you. Jim Calhoun's not on my list. He
had to be on the list.
The list was coaches have won 900 plus games. Jim Calhoun has won 900. Okay.
He had to be on the list. You know, I don't know what he expects. All right. So number 2, I had Roy Williams as well. 3 championships, correct?
Yes.
And 9 Final Fours. 9, right? So far and away better than the rest of them in the list. So he had to be there, except for one guy, and that is Coach K at number 1.
Coach K.
He leads in pretty much every category, right? Every category he's on top, and you had to go with Coach K. There was no question about it. You know, if you're starting a team anywhere, and you can get Coach K, you do it.
Yep, agreed. Coach K, great job, great list, good job, Ron. Kenny, off your rocker again, as usual. Well, I'm glad you are on, though, live, Kenny, because it is time for predictions. And
yes, they don't go run away.
We were the only ones last week. Both went 8-2. So pretty impressive, right? We are just going bad list. You're a bad. You know what? Give me your list, Kenny. 900 though. They have to have won 900 games. Those 6 guys did. That's why they were on the list. All right. So prediction time again. 8-2 last week, Ron. We had a great week. Look at that win percentage by this guy right here, 58%. So if you're a gambler, I mean, you should be joining in right now and pick the way we go. Look at us. We are on fire. More than half the time, we are going to get the games right. More than half. All right, Ron. I am first this week, so I will start us off with the NBA on the 6th. So November, we're already in November, man. Year's almost over. November 6th, the New Orleans Pelicans at the Denver Nuggets. Denver looks so stout right now. They didn't no hiccup from winning that championship. I'm going Denver here. Although the Pelicans playing very well, Zion has looked good as well.
So now that you just gave him the kiss of death, he's probably going to get hurt in that game. So I'm going to say the Denver Nuggets as well.
Well, Kenny, in-season tournament did start already, right? Tonight, I think it starts. Tonight, the in-season tournament starts.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing ever.
I'm NBA Cup coming to Boston. We'll be the first ones to ever win it. Come on.
In the last.
Come on. Kenny, who do you got? Pelicans at Nuggets.
Because it matters now.
It matters. It all matters. I guess Kenny's not going to join in now. Now, big man talking all his junk. Doesn't give a pick. There we go. The Pelicans. All right. He's a big Zion fan. 11-8. You got the Boston Celtics, Ron, at the Philadelphia 76ers.
I'm going Boston.
You're off your rocker. Marcus Morris might play, and whoever the other guys. Okay. Go ahead.
You only have to worry about one man.
And Maxey. Maxey's the real deal.
Like I said, Maxey.
Kenny, who do you got? I got the Celtics as well. Is this a sweep? Celtics at 76ers on the 8th. Celtics by 45.
Oh, wow. Now, wait. I thought I was the one that had the wine.
Yes, I don't know. Kenny might be hitting the bottles as well. Some NFL action, Ron. We said there's a lot of big games. 11-5, get the Miami Dolphins at the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, I don't believe in the Dolphins till they beat somebody with a winning record.
I'm going Kansas City.
I went Kansas City as well.
Yeah.
Even though it was my pick first, but that's all right.
Yeah, Taylor Swift's winning that game.
Swifties. We're going to start the foodies. The foodies. I like it.
Do they have any food guys on their team? Yeah, look that up.
Miami. Kenny going Miami. Okay.
Oh boy.
I mean, they've won a lot of 500 teams. 11-5 as well. Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles, Ron.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go Philadelphia.
Okay, I went Philly as well at home. I'm gonna go with the home team on that one.
Yeah.
Although I agree with you, it should be a good game.
Should be.
It should be.
Could
but
be.
Dallas and the big lights when they had the big moments like San Francisco didn't step up. Kenny's just gonna go oppo everything we do tonight. I see where this is going, Kenny. 11-5. Got the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. We talked about it earlier. I am all in on the Bengals now. They're on fire. I think last year they weren't undefeated in October. They went undefeated again this October. Later in the year, they're a slow start team. And then once they get rolling, forget it. Bengals, I think, win by 2 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati's going to win as well. I think Buffalo is just playing so sloppy. And just like what Cincinnati is doing.
Kenny, just going oppo everything. Look at this guy. I can't right now with him. Oh, my goodness. NHL, Ron, 11-4. You got the
writing everything.
Yeah, then he'll crush us this week. Colorado Avalanche at the Vegas Golden Knights. That is tomorrow night.
Ooh, 2 top teams, right? I'm going to go Vegas. I think they get the home push.
Can only go undefeated for so long. And I feel like Colorado's still that team that wants to say, look, we still are like the Western Conference cream. Even though you won it, I'm going to prove to you that we can beat you. Colorado goes in and wins this game. Avs take that game. Kenny, what do you got? Avs, Knights. I'm going to regret that one. I could already feel it.
What, going
No,
Colorado?
Kenny went Colorado. I'm losing. All right. 11-6, Ron. Boston Bruins at the Dallas Stars.
It's a tough game. Bruins are down 3 defensemen.
McAvoy, though, appealing his suspension. Might get it.
When's the game?
The 6th. So you got 3 days.
I'm gonna go Dallas.
I went Dallas as well. The goaltending. I think he can shut them down enough.
Well, I'm just a little worried that they run up the score on the Bruins without McAvoy, Grzelcyk, and I don't know if Forbert's going to come back by then or not. But
so we all went Dallas. Yeah,
defense.
You don't see that too often. A Boston team we all go against them. 11-4, Ron. Tomorrow you got the number 14 LSU Tigers at number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide. And you know what? I'm up in the air because Alabama hasn't been like the same, but I still feel at home.
Yeah,
they're
the
going
way
to
I feel too. I feel like they're ready for another loss, but they're at home.
Going Bama.
Yeah.
Roll Tide, roll. Look at Kenny. All right, my friend. I love it.
Yeah.
And in NASCAR, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship is for all the marbles. It's in Phoenix. Obviously, the top 5 drivers that are here point wise, they're going for the championship. So one of them has to finish higher than the other. I think win the whole thing. I went Ryan Blaney here. I think he's 3rd overall in points, and if he wins this race, he's the champ.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so difficult because it's like when you look at those guys, Byron, Larson, Blaney, Bell, Hamlin, I don't know. It's like you're looking at those guys and I'm like, I don't see really anybody that stands out from the pack. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to go Kyle Larson.
All right. Blaney. Kenny's going with Blaney as well. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Ron, before we go into our final thoughts,
with Blaney, though, when you look at those drivers, you have 2 from Hendrick, right? You have 2 from Joe Gibbs Racing, and Blaney is by himself on an island there, sandwiched in the middle of Team Penske. So I don't know. He might have a harder time, keeping up with those guys because they're going to be a team.
I got it, man. But this is for all the marbles, championships, man.
Well, I know.
That's what matters. All right. Before we get into our final thoughts, Ron, can you tell all the wonderful people out there? I know you had already put up Buy Me a Coffee. But the other ways they could help support the show if they'd like to be a sponsor.
Absolutely. Look, it's so simple. All you have to do is send us an email at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information you need to know, and there'll be a link that you can go and just sign up and blah, 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 and the whole thing's done. You can sponsor the show. Any of these wonderful segments like Split Decision or Pick and Roll, and I love those roll jokes with the egg rolls. If you're a Chinese restaurant, you might want to sponsor the Pick and Roll segment. It could be
we'll even change the name to the Pick and Egg Roll.
Yeah. So sponsor us, send it out there. It costs less than going to your favorite coffee shop and buying a large coffee and a chocolate donut. So send it out. And don't forget to buy us a coffee if you want while you're at the coffee shop.
Yes. Let's not forget, Ron, you don't need to just watch us. You can listen to us. We are on all the audio platforms. Support all of our social media outlets as well. We're on every social media outlet possible. Donate stars and bits. Continue to help sponsor our show that way. You can buy me a coffee, right? Great way to get us, to continue to upgrade our show and do some amazing things, and continue to follow us, share our show. It's so many different ways to get our voices heard out there, because I'm sure once you hear it, we will be the #1 sports podcast on the planet. I guarantee you. Ron, but it is final thoughts time. I am first tonight. I will start us off. And I actually have two, and I know how much you love when I do that.
Gee, there's a surprise.
I know, buddy. But I will say my first one, Jim Harbaugh, the scandal at Michigan, the sign stealing, it is getting worse. I think literally it's going to ruin his chances or opportunities to get back into the NFL, because I think teams are going to shy away from this, not trusting that this won't become a bigger scandal. And it's a shame, because I think he's a great coach, and I don't think he needs to do it. And yet it seems like it's coming out more and more like there was tickets being purchased by certain people that were in the stands, looking at signs. And now they got video of one of their assistants or something, possibly on the sideline, dressed up as somebody else to try to steal something. Like, it's out of control. And, to have a competitive advantage and try to do something, everybody tries to cheat somehow or some way. But this just seems like it's going to be bigger and worse. And he might actually get suspended from the NCAA as well. So too many issues with Jim Harbaugh lately. And you think he's a great coach, but now I'm starting to question maybe he might not be as good as we think he is.
Wonder what he was doing in the NFL.
Yeah, right, because he did really well in the NFL as well. And then another very sad note, but one of my favorite shows of all time, Matthew Perry has passed away at 53. And again, Chandler Bing. Listen, I fell in love with that show. I still watch the reruns today, and I still laugh just as hard, even though I know what's coming up. It was just during my era of time when I was in that age group, in that range. And you know what I mean? Like, he was just one of those characters that you could relate to, because we all got a little bit of sarcasm in us. And I think, Ron, he probably is more like us. We're that kind of character. And you just fell in love with Chandler Bing. Never forget when him and Monica and the whole proposal thing, I still cry to this day when I see it, because you just felt so in love with those characters. I know you're heartless, go have another glass of wine. But, Matthew Perry, again, regardless of that, we know he had battled addiction, and it is a serious illness that, again, maybe this will bring some more light to it. And I'm hoping that's not the reason that he ultimately passed away. But if it is, this may help. I think they already started a foundation in his name to try to help with others that may have addiction. So rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Friends will never be the same. I can't believe we won't see another reunion and have them all on the stage again. So that's the sad part of it as well. But that's my final thoughts.
Yeah, just to add to it too, is like, I remember watching the show, and it was, I might have been the first episode, the one with Jill Goodacre, when he was in the vestibule with Jill Goodacre because the power went out, and he was calling Joey, and it's like, and it's like, he's in the vestibule with Jill Goodacre, and it's like that to me signified greatness from the show. That was the beginning of what became so many years of just continued laughs, with Chandler, to me, as the best character of
Agreed.
that show.
Agreed.
And it was shocking to see somebody that, you watched for so many years leave us. And, and it's been like that a lot lately too.
Yeah,
a lot of famous people have been passing away, and it's that was a tough one. That was a real tough one. But I lost my train of thought there. My final thought is for those Texas Ranger fans out there that thought it was never going to be possible, for them to be where they are today. and that is celebrating a World Series when you have, about 3 or 4 teams just dominating with the salaries and the star players and the star power. And it didn't seem like it was ever going to be possible for, a team like the Texas Rangers to win one. But they did it, and they put it together a fantastic team. And, when you have, like I said earlier in the show, Eric, when you have the right players at the right time, it doesn't matter if they're supposed to be there or not. Magic can happen.
Mhm.
And we've seen it so many times in so many sports. And they connected and they made a run and they never looked back and did what they had to do. So, congratulations to the Texas Rangers.
Congratulations. And to your point, this is why we do what we do, because sports is so unpredictable. You just never know. And you know what? Hopefully you're out there and you're listening to us and you say, you know what? I want to talk about that. Join our show live every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rhode Island Broadcasting. And if you like some great shows and just you're craving stuff, so many variety of different things on Rhode Island Broadcasting. Check them out. Amazing shows. They continue to grow. It Doesn't Matter podcast, Mindset Talk podcast, another great one there as well. I know you're doing a lot
We
of
got a little bit of
stuff.
everything. I mean, we got like the skeptic metaphysicians. So if you like that metaphysical stuff, that's a pretty good show if you like it. I mean, there's a lot, and I got to get the big dog on with me for Entertainment Flash because we got to talk about this Matthew Perry thing. So
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd love to join you on that one.
Oh, absolutely. You just let me know when you're available.
All right. And I will say this, I want to thank Kenny for joining us live tonight. Everybody that's going to join us afterwards, hope you enjoy the show and you end up clicking that follow button and then sharing it. Make sure we get thousands of eyes on us because we want to continue to grow with you. Ron, I've had a lot of fun tonight. I appreciate your time. All we ever ask for every single show is peace on earth.
Have a good night, everybody.